Good morning, sweethearts, and you few grumpy gusses out there. What's going on, guys? We had a pretty big day yesterday, I think. We go back and look, 654 miles, which isn't bad when you got to go through the Dallas-Fort Worth area also. So we did good. We're sitting right outside of Amarillo, and we should make our delivery in Colorado today unless something goes wrong, but we got 504 miles to go, so I feel like we got it. I don't know what's happening from there. I just don't know. I have not heard anything else from my dispatcher on that, but hey, you know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, see what we got going on. I don't really know what else to say to that. So anyways, yeah, it hasn't been bad. I have been able to sleep the last couple nights. That's been really nice because you guys, as you know, my last video was just me complaining that I haven't really been able to. I've been having a really tough time with it. So last couple nights have been real good, but we crushed it yesterday. We started in like Monroe, Louisiana, all the way across there. It was a good day. But normally I don't run that many miles in a day because I try to keep my clock in a place where I can run recaps. Who cares? Boring trucker stuff. Jesus Christ. Josh, do you ever talk about anything else besides trucking? God damn. Do you think about anything else? I do. Sometimes. It's very rare. Now that I made myself self-conscious about my own video, I don't know what else to talk about right now. So I'm going to head out and see what the day brings, and we'll talk to you guys soon. But I just wanted to say good morning. I remembered what I was going to talk about now. Coming up 287 from Dallas up to Colorado. I'm sure plenty of you have ran it many times, but you go through a lot of these small towns in Texas where there's quite a bit of truck traffic, and a lot of times, I don't know, I'm part of the problem. I'll acknowledge that, but a lot of times, what is going on with my phone? I have no idea. Truck drivers can't decide what speed to go through these towns. What speed are we going to go, right? There's signs that say what speed to go. Nobody can figure it out. I don't know why that is. But the right lane is always like guys going 10 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour in like a 35, right? And then the left lane is like around 40, you know, which I guess is okay. Anyways, I was behind all the slow trucks in the right lane, and I'm like, nope, I got stuff to do. And I swung this big rig out there to the left, right? You know, like only I can do. And I'm driving and I'm passing all these trucks, right? When eventually somehow a car comes in from the right-hand side, gets in front of me, brake checks me, flips me off, and rides off into the sunset. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? He didn't actually ride off into the sunset just yet, though, because I screwed up my own story. We get a few blocks down the road, and after he'd flipped me off, I'm still behind him because I hit him with the old air horn. Like, you're going to flip me off? You know, right? But we get a few blocks down the road, and he starts pointing over his car like this, like you're supposed to be in that lane. Well, that's not true. That's a thing that people made up. Be in the right lane, slower traffic in the right lane applies to interstates. It doesn't apply to city streets or state highways or anything like that. Now, is it a nice thing to do? Yes, sure. But it's not actual law except on interstates. Anyways, be in the right lane for if you're slower traffic doesn't mean slower than the guy that's going way over the speed limit. That's not how that works. It's always those entitled guys, right, that are driving well over the speed limit. They're like, don't you know that slower traffic goes in the right lane? And they think that means because they're going, 40 over the speed limit, that means you have to get out of their way. And if they could just read a sign, they'd be much better off, right? But I was laughing at it because I haven't been flipped off in years. It's been a long time. I thought we stopped doing that in the 90s. That's like a thing that went away. I wouldn't dare flip anyone off on the road. People are crazy out there. You've heard so many stories of like truck drivers getting shot at, but also just normal everyday people out there driving their cars, getting in the old fisticuffs with each other and shooting each other and getting killed over what what happened? A little bit of road rage? Who cares? It's so ridiculous. But yeah, I always felt like that's a trend that kind of went away. People don't really flip each other off anymore. But it was funny, like after I got done being mad about it, it was amusing to me that he like flipped me off and then drove away, right? Then I caught back up to him, and then he pointed, you need to go into that lane, because apparently he's the cops. I have no idea who this guy thinks he is. And then I'm screwing up my story. Then he takes a right to hit another highway going north, and as he does it, he's flipping me off driving down the road as he sees my truck passing him, and I'm staring at him. I'm like, this guy, right? But it's funny because you know what, like the modern day equivalent of someone flipping you off and driving away is? Social media. Yeah. In all forms. Could be here on YouTube. A guy makes a video on YouTube talking shit about another guy, or a Facebook post, you know, telling somebody, I'm gonna beat you up good. I'm gonna beat you up real good. Any number of those things. It's like it's the same thing. Oh, you've got a lot to say. You've got a lot on your mind, huh? From way over there. My, aren't you brave? Huh. Anyways, I don't claim to be the brave guy. I'm not out here looking for a fight, but it's funny that mentality still exists in some form or another. And those are always the guys that think they're like the tough guys. Everybody respects me because I'm real scary. I'm a real scary guy. You should have seen. I was 1,000 miles away from that guy, and I really told him what a piece of shit he is. That's how gangster I am. Okay. All right, big guy. Why don't you chill out? Calm down. Calm down, big fella. It's gonna be okay, big boy. Oh yeah, it's gonna be okay. Anyways, I haven't been flipped off in forever. I was shocked by it. I was like, people still do that? Interesting. Anyways, time to hit the road, folks. Time to go make us that money. See you soon. Oh boy, I'm at the obviously superior Love's truck stop. I'm gonna try to stop making fun of Love's. I'm gonna try, guys. I know somebody is watching, taking it very personally and getting upset about it. That's the weird thing. I've been around YouTube long enough to know that it takes virtually nothing to upset people. So I'll try to keep the Love's jokes to a minimum, but this place has 2 showers. The Superior Love's has 2 showers, and a team walked in right before me carrying their bags, and I walked in, realized there was 2 showers. I was like, oh well, that's going to be a little bit of a wait. So I don't know. I'm not really like arguing with my dispatcher right now, but she sent me just a local load. I'm not really a local driver up in the Denver area. I'm not going to get to Fort Collins till around 4 p.m. She's got a load picking up at a drop yard in Denver. So go to Fort Collins about 4 p.m. to, I think it's Budweiser, right up there, or is that Coors? I can't remember. I think it's Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, I don't know. Go up there though, and their line is always long. You could be there an hour easily. But we're gonna get in there, we're gonna drop and hook. I think best case scenario, we're out of there by 5. Then at 5 p.m. we need to leave the Fort Collins area that is covered in traffic on I-25, get down to the Denver drop yard, wherever that's at, swap trailers, and then by 6 p.m. get to a delivery that they have sitting in Denver, and I'm just not seeing it. And the reason that it's not going to work, I could have got up you know, a couple hours earlier this morning, but I didn't have this load, so I had no idea that they were going to try to do that, and I don't want to do it anyways. What's the point of doing total? It's like 14 loaded miles, 56 empty, so that's what, 56, 66, 70 miles. So what, I'm going to spend all my time on a dock for, you know, I'm going to go down there and drop and hook to get the loaded trailer and go sit on a dock because it's like at a grocery distributor for who knows how many hours for what, $45 plus some detention time. It doesn't sound worth my time. I'd rather just park the truck at that point. So I don't know. I'm not fighting with her, but I told her I don't see how this is possible. Had I maybe got this load yesterday, I would have got up those few hours earlier and I would have been much further into this day. And I shower every day. I mean, there's times where it's just not possible, but for the most part, I do. And one thing I'm refusing to do this time around in my trucking career is take away my own humanity to get the load done. You know what I mean? The load I'm on, fine, we're golden because it's a drop and hook until midnight tonight. So I don't care. Or it's not even due till Friday, and it's Wednesday right now. But whatever. Anyways, Will Burner, you guys that hang around the channel, some people probably know Will Burner. He comes into the live streams. He's got a trucking channel himself. Just posted an interesting short from a younger guy. I think he said he's 24 years old, and I'm actually kind of understanding his point and what he's saying, and that leads into the point of kind of stuff I'm going to talk about later in this video, so I thought I'd mention it. He was talking about something, and I can't say it verbatim, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but something about the young truck drivers' opinion of the trucking industry holds more weight than the older drivers because they are the future of trucking, and it's something along those lines. And I kind of feel bad for the guy. Hopefully he's ready to defend those points, because Will Burner said that he's going to bring him on the live stream, on his live stream, or he's going to try to. So I hope he's ready to defend those points in a calm, rational way, because what I do know, as a person that used to also rail against the older truck drivers, I do know that he's going to get piled on, unfortunately. And so hopefully he's ready for that. I think that his points do have some merits. I think that, but now he's in his early mid-20s. We all know at that age we're not really sure what we're gonna do with our lives. So if he ends up being a trucker that's in it for the long haul, and you know, trucking for years and years, then obviously I think that his thoughts, his input on trucking would have some value. If he's only going to be in it for a couple years, he don't really know what he's doing with life yet, and he don't know that, we don't know that, nobody knows, then in that case it's just the stopgap that it is, and maybe he should just not worry about it, is kind of my point. But I think it's interesting that he wants to engage in that conversation. YouTube's a tough place to do it. So I just hope he's prepared for the unfortunate backlash, because what is allowed on YouTube, unfortunately, young man, is hive mindset. I know I kind of opened a can of worms by saying that myself, but you're allowed to think what you want as long as it's the same thing that everyone else thinks. Okay? So be ready for that. And hey, you know what? Good for you for taking that stance. If you plan to do this for a long time, I do understand where you're coming from. If I were to guess, he's a young guy, and he's probably been talked down on quite a bit by older drivers, and really all he's doing is trying to improve his life. Maybe he's got a family, I don't know, and he's trying to improve life for them. And for the most part, jobs don't pay dick anymore, so trucking's one of the last hopes you have as a young person to actually provide a life for your family. So I guess that's all I got to say on that. I understand why he would feel the way that he feels about things, well, hopefully they don't go too hard on this young man for having his own thoughts. Your thoughts do change as you get older, of course, and you know, you start to feel different ways about things, but that shouldn't stop you when you're young from speaking on how you feel about things. Hey, I thought this was America, baby. I thought we could do that. So anyways, I'm gonna go wait for one of these 2 showers to open up. I was hoping to get a message back from my dispatcher by now, but I haven't heard anything yet. But whatever, it's really just not my problem. You throw a load on me late in the day and then say figure it out. Well, that's not the way this works. Talk to you guys soon. Good Lord, talk about these grumpy Gusses at the beginning of the video. I had to get myself ungrumpy too before I got on here and made this video. So that dude I was talking about, I forgot his name. Gold Phoenix or Golden Phoenix, something like that. Will Burner posted up his video. he jumped on a Wilburner's stream and talked with him for a while. Really well-spoken dude, had his reasons for feeling how he felt, and presented them in a calm, respectful manner. So love it. No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to that. I jumped on for a few minutes just to tell him good job. You know, stand your ground, feel how you feel about things. I wouldn't make it a habit like I did of just going after the old guys all the time. But hey, he felt how he felt. He said it when he was questioned on it on a live stream. He very, very calmly presented his point of view. So that was a really cool part of the day, because today's really sucked. Today has not been fun at all. This local load that my dispatch gave me, I told them I wasn't going to make it when they first sent it. I said, I'm going to be late. And I mean, I understand they need stuff done. I get all that. But I mean, they've ran out my whole day. I've got 41 minutes left, and I'm going to be here for a long time now. So I was a half hour late. I guess that's the one thing that I'm not really enjoying about being a company driver. I mean, I am enjoying that I'm keeping all my money. That's super cool. But not really enjoying the part where I just have to do what I'm told. I'm like, oh God, like this is I'm run out my whole day. I was ready to be done, and whatever, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It was just super frustrating. And then I guess it's fucking Festivus because I'm airing my grievances, but we're at that point in a YouTube channel where not everybody, sorry, I misspoke. Some people, some weirdos out there overanalyze every word you say, and like, that was always my least favorite part, I think. It's like you say something just kind of like off the top of your head, and then there's like this in-depth analysis about what you meant and all this stuff. It does get frustrating. I mentioned that I was having some issues with sleep paralysis, and it's fine. I'll get through it. But now all of a sudden I'm unqualified to drive a truck because I'm just too tired, and how will I ever get by and things like that. And guys, give me a little credit. I was told when I made it to 10 years I would finally be considered a real truck driver. So cut me some goddamn slack, because I've made it. All these years, I've always made decisions about when I should sleep, when I'm tired. I've stopped for hundreds of naps. I've shut it down hours early because I was tired. I've gotten up hours late because I was still tired. So you're going to have to trust that I can make those decisions. So that kind of stuff was like really frustrating to me today. And it was all amplified by like, I have to go do this load. Is there going to be enough time? I'm going to be late, and I'm going to insist they pay me detention. I'm late for the appointment, but when they assigned me this load, I said, there's no way. I mean, I can't make that on time. There's no way. So I'm going to have to insist that I get some detention pay out of this. So I'll be making sure I do get that. But the good news is I wasn't sure they were going to be able to get me to the location that I'm going to take home time. That was kind of getting down to the wire. They sent through a load. We're ready to go. So I will spend the next 2 days driving, and then I'll enjoy me a little time off. Finally, it's been a long time, and a long time since I didn't have to sit there and worry about money. How am I going to keep paying the truck bills and things like that? Awesome. Does kind of make this week a little bit smaller because this load that I'm going to do will deliver on Tuesday. So I got plenty of time. I'll probably get to where I'm going either Friday or early Saturday morning, and I'll leave there Monday to finish out the drive. I'll be about 3-4 hours away from where I'm going. Drive up there Monday at some point, and then Tuesday morning deliver with 1,100 miles done. So it's kind of going to screw up this week, but add to next week. Hey, that's just the way she goes. We'll take it. So the title is what I have to do now, and hopefully they don't come bang on my door because I need to unseal and then back in, but they won't. They got to come break the seal. That kind of place is where I'm at right now. So the title, why is your title that, Josh? Explain yourself, mister. So it's going to be something like lying is good, or lying is a good thing, or something to that effect. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm noticing, obviously, the trucking industry is in a very bad position right now, as far as especially the spot market. You do have companies closing their doors. You just are in a spot where there are too many truck drivers out here. Now, why I said that this young man that I was talking about earlier kind of links into what I was saying, so what I plan to talk about today, so it always kind of perfect timing. I used to go off on the old truckers. Now I am one. Now I am one. I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm an old man, but driving a truck 10 years, that will certainly age you. That will do something to you. That's why I kind of laugh these days now. People make comments about my unfortunate face. Hey, I've been doing it for 10 years. I think I'm doing okay still. I could look a whole lot worse, but I think we're still doing okay. But I used to give these old timers hell, right? Oh yeah, I sure did. And my reasoning was not to speak for that guy, but sort of the same as that dude's reasoning. Golden Phoenix, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Maybe I'll remember to just share out his channel, maybe after you guys have watched this, if you haven't found him. If somebody finds his channel, put it in there and I'll pin it. Or maybe I could do that too, I'm not sure. But it was kind of the same reason. Coming into this industry can suck. It's intimidating at first, right? You're learning to handle a big piece of equipment, and you're trying to do it in a way that doesn't get anybody killed out there. Last thing you want to do is be in an accident and try and explain that shit, you know, have all kinds of things happen. And it's very intimidating by itself, especially if you're not used to being around stuff like this. If you remember, I came from the cubicle farms before I got into a truck. Years and years ago now. And then it makes it harder when you are being talked down on by the older guys, okay? Now, I am the older guy. Hear me out. I'm not an old man, but by the prerequisites that I was given years ago, once I hit 10 years, I get to call myself a veteran. That's what I get to call myself. That's the rules you guys gave me, okay? So now as a veteran trucker, I have a responsibility. And sooner or later, probably sooner rather than later, that responsibility is going to be passing the torch on to the next generation, and they're already coming in, because this dude's almost 20 years younger than me out here driving a truck. He himself is not the next generation, but he damn sure is part of it. And he has a strong opinion on things. Gotta love that, right? Anyways, one thing that I always got mad about with the old truckers is they always talked about how damn hard trucking was. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I understand that technology has changed. We have power steering now, and AC, and GPS, and cell phones. And I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of all the technological advantages that truckers now have compared to older truckers, right? Had, though, past tense. Because if you're sitting in a truck stop bar, those still exist. Some places, they're still out there. And old guys telling you about how hard it is to be a trucker. Well, it currently is not a very difficult thing to do. And it would always drive me crazy because I'd be like, this is not a hard job. Now, there are parts of the job that can be hard, especially if you start getting into like flatbedding. That's more physical work, and you got to be very mindful of how you're doing that. I'm not a flatbedder for a reason. I don't want to be outside working, throwing tarps around. And I tried flatbed, and I was so consumed with the idea that I didn't secure it right, and all I did was stare at the mirror at that load. It was not a good situation, right? There's things you can do that can be difficult: heavy haul, wide load, oversized, all that nonsense, right? But the simple act of trucking in dry van and reefer is not a difficult thing to do in its current form. And it would drive me nuts how they would talk about how it's so difficult and you can't do what I do and all this stuff. It's like, yes, I can. I absolutely can do what you do. And I always said something very important. It's self-preservation is what I always said. Turns out I was right, but not really in a way that I thought I was, I guess. Because I always thought that the population continues to grow, right? Which means the demand for goods is always going to grow, was my thought process. But I guess it never crossed my mind. Recessions. The demand for goods ain't growing now, is it? It absolutely is not. So there are too many truck drivers out here, and maybe it's all my fault or guys like me. I am the reason for the downfall of the trucking industry right now. I would not say that, but I used to get on here all the time, and I still agree with that. Nothing has changed, and say, I don't know what everyone's talking about. Trucking's easy. It's not a hard job to do. Had I been smarter, I would have lied. Oh yeah. I would have talked about how goddamn difficult it is and how scary it is and how every day is life and death, and you just never know what's going to happen to you out here. And you wouldn't believe the muscle it takes to turn the wheel on these big rigs. And I would have drove an automatic, but I would have lied and said I got to shift through 36 gears to get this big bitch rolling down the road. I would have lied my ass off. You know why? Self-preservation. I'm sure that's not it. Now that I'm saying all this out loud, I'm sure I didn't cause the downfall of the trucking industry. I'm pretty positive, right? But maybe guys like me running to the internet to say, guys, this is easy. Anyone can do this. Hell, maybe we're part of the problem now, aren't we, folks? Oh, yeah. Yeah, because a bunch of people went, that's right. He said I could do it. I can do it. And now there's too many damn truck drivers. I should have lied. I should have lied and told you it was hard to do. And that's the whole damn point of this video. That's it. That's the whole point. So, to clear it up, not that it matters, because what I am painfully aware of is that I go by the name This Guy Trucks on YouTube, and it doesn't matter what I say, and it doesn't matter how much I clear up what I meant to say, or how much I specify what I'm trying to say, it's always going to be taken out of context. I do believe that trucking used to be a much more difficult profession. I do believe that. I'm third generation, baby. Hell yeah. My daddy and his daddy before him, all truck drivers. That's right. And my dad tells me stories about the kind of truck his dad drove way back in the day, the twin stick, something about reaching through a goddamn steering wheel. I have no idea what he's talking about because I've never seen it. I do not doubt that it used to be a much more difficult profession when it came to just driving the truck, the lack of any kind of safety features, rusty old trucks. You need a tetanus shot just because you got in and happen to scrape your leg on the door. AC is a big thing. The comforts we have these days, now the shit's a cakewalk. It really is. If you're over the road, for me, I've always said it and I still say it, the hardest part is the mental game, right? Can you live out here all by yourself? Can you do it? Because really, once you get past that, I don't even think about it anymore. I really don't. It's normal. Once you get past that, though, and you're comfortable driving this truck, oh, you're going to be just fine. But I should have lied. See you later.